Right, so what's in my bag? Changes a little bit from week to week depending on the course setups and also on how many clubs I've broken recently. So I do not have two drivers at the moment. I'm down to one because I'll have a replacement shaft soon, but one of the shafts did break. So my driver at the moment is a Titleist, it's the TSR3. I'm playing it with the LA Golf Trono shaft. I mean, it's set pretty neutral. There's not a whole lot going on here. It's very stiff. It's not got a whole lot of loft. It's built for me. It works. It's working quite well. I haven't fiddled around with it too much. This is the same head I've had since the Open, so I know if my driving goes off, it's me more than the club. So I'm pretty happy with this setup. I do tweak things and try to make things better, but overall it's been pretty steady on this. I do also travel with a 10-degree version of the TSR and the TSI, and I will pick and choose depending on the conditions. The TSI head spins a little more, so the 10-degree version of that generally goes in the bag if I'm playing somewhere with a lot of altitude, or if it's a lot narrower and I'm just trying to chip it round, and I might sometimes put in both drivers depending on, if I need to hit big hooks and slices and do different things. If we work our way down, the tree wood is also a TSR. Again, the tree, it's a 16.5-degree head, so it's technically a 4-wood. I don't tend to hit tree wood off the tee at all, really. It's a very rare thing. So this is built for longer approaches to par 5s. I generally will hit this somewhere between 270 and 290 in the air, depending on the shot I'm trying to hit. Maybe a little shorter if I'm trying to chop one up in the air with a cut. So this is a speeder shaft. It's a nice solid stiff shaft, very stiff down the tip. I don't like seeing the ball go left. This was built to go into green, so I don't want hot hooks. So it's kind of pretty neutral. Probably my favorite tree wood I've had in a few years. I've not always played tree wood, so it's nice to have an option in there that works when I need it. My irons have not changed in a while. So I've got two different heads. I have in my tree iron, I play the crossover version with a graphite shaft. This is the KBS Tour prototype. The difference between this and my standard, which is the I210 head with the Dynamic Gold X7 shaft, this goes higher. So if I was playing back home on links courses, I might play the regular tree iron, but over here in the par 5s, you want a little more height. You want to be able to stop the ball into par 5s. So that's why I play the crossover. I've played the I210 head now since 2018, I think. So I know what they do. I know what I'm getting out of them. It's got a nice wide sole, which suits me. You need to be able to, you want all your clubs to suit what you're doing. For me, I can sometimes get a little steep, so the wider sole helps me, particularly somewhere like we're in Florida at the moment. The grass is grainy, helps the club get through the grass a little bit better. But I don't get too many flyers, I don't get too many hot shots. Nobody wants to just have a ball disappear 20 yards over the back. So that is why that one is in the bag. It's been in the bag quite a while. Don't see it moving anytime soon. The wedges are kind of fun. So my gap wedge is a U wedge. Again, it's part of the I210 set. Again, for the wider sole, that is why that is in there, as opposed to a ping, glide wedge or Vokey or something like that. It's for that sole width, which just suits the way I like to feel the club go through the grass. So I play the Dynamic Gold X7 shaft in my 52 and 56, and then I play a KBS C-taper in my 60-degree. That's just because the C-taper is a little bit softer, gives me a slightly different feel and weighting, which I just prefer. It's more of a preference than a specific reasoning. As far as heads go, I'm playing the SM9 Vokeys. I have the 56-degree with 40 in bounce, and I have probably one of the lowest bounce grinds you can get in the T grind, which is a Vokey prototype. I try to mix a really low bounce 60 with a high bounce 56 so that I have more options around the green, so I can kind of pick and choose based on the shot that I have. I think that's normally quite a good way to do a wedge setup. You want to have options. If you fit all your wedges to the same bounce or grind, you're limiting your options around the greens. Try not to limit yourself to only using one club. I'll use anything from a 7-iron through to a 60, depending on the shot. You try and make it as easy and give yourself the highest margin for error. So having more grinds and options allows you to do that. Right, so the putter probably is the one club that tweaks around a little bit more. I mean, I've talked about driver heads, but that's just a a ball flight thing. It's not really a change. The putter does get changed sometimes. So an old friend is back in the bag again. I had been using a Vokey, the kind of winged mallet for a few months there, but sometimes with putters you just switch things up again. Sometimes your eye goes a little bit out. I do a lot of work on my aiming, and sometimes for whatever reason when you freshen it up, your aiming can just get a little bit sharper. So I'm back to the putter that I did use at the Open and used to win the qualifier, which is a Sick Flow mallet. It is an arm lock version, so it has the LA Golf shaft, which is like so basically the reasoning behind the shaft is it's super, super stiff. So you get less torque, less deflection, and it kind of tightens. It can tighten up your start line just a fraction, but we're putting everything is just like fractions and half degrees. So any little bit of help, I like the feel out of it. I like the results. So I've got that. I've got the Jumbo Max big grip for leaning against your arm. I really enjoy using this putter. I find my speed is excellent with it, my pace putting. So I do come back to this putter a lot. It doesn't always stay in the bag. It sometimes gets a little break, but that sometimes you just need to refresh your eyes and get a good feeling out of it again. So we'll see how long it stays in the bag this time. If it's working, it'll stay in a long time.